All right, guys, today we're going to be talking about 3 Pokemon cards that could make you rich in the future.
Oh, really?
So, guys, I want to preface today's episode with, this is just my personal opinion. You could make this argument for so many cards. Last thing I want to mention is I'm going to be basing my selections off of 3 criteria: popularity, pop report, and rarity. So first card up on the list, guys, is going to be the XY Evolutions pre-release Staff Charizard. This was a pre-release Charizard for the XY Evolution set, which was years ago. This is what brought me back into the hobby. At the time that I re-entered, I had no idea about this card or why it was so significant. So you would see pre-release cards. There's 3 different ones. There's the regular holo that you can pull out of the sets. There's the pre-release regular one that LCSs would receive. And then there was a staff pre-release, which was only specifically given out to staff of the Pokemon Company. Now you're going to be asking, why is this relevant? Why is this significant? And who cares? The further you go down the road, the more rare they get. So think of this. The holo Charizard, any one of us could pull those out of a box. This channel's pulled 20, right? Oh my God! So when you get to the pre-release, there was one of 4 that you could get. There was 4 different ones. There was the Mewtwo, the Machamp, and the Gyarados, and then the Charizard, right? So these pre-release Charizards would come in the pre-release boxes, okay? And you weren't even guaranteed to get a Charizard. It was going to be one of a few. So that makes it rare in itself. So the pre-release staff was only given out to staff of the Pokemon Company, and they weren't even guaranteed to get the Charizard either. It was a random toss-up. Now, maybe if you know the guy, you know the Kenny inside of the warehouse, the thing, and maybe he could get you the Charizard. I don't know how it works inside. If it was my company, bet your ass I'd be getting the Charizard. But it was a toss-up, so I've heard. Not to mention the print quality of these cards were very, very poor compared to what we see today, like let's say with Evolving Skies, Hidden Fates even. I just remember Hidden Fates because they had a really good print run. So here are the facts. Out of all of the ones that have been graded, I believe it was somewhere in the 400s or 500s, but I'll put it up on the screen. There's only 38 PSA 10s out of all of the cards that have been graded. 38, and one last sold, and they don't come up often, for $7,700 in a PSA 10. Now, I think that's an absolute bargain. This card shot up during the hype, the hype years. This card shot up to, I think, $20,000. Now, I do pity the people that bought it at that price because they're obviously feeling max pain right now. These aren't cheap seats, right? These are going to be for the bigger ballers, right? They can drop that type of bread. So just something to consider. Even if you have this, in your collection and you haven't graded it, that's where the max value comes in. If you have one of these cards in your collection and they're minty, minty, mint, it might be worth it for you to send them in and get a PSA 10. Second card on the list, guys, is going to be the secret rare Charizard out of Plasma Storm. So this card, guys, maybe you've never even seen this before. This is a secret rare out of Black and White Plasma Storm. I believe this is the first secret rare Charizard that was featured in a set. Check my receipts. We'll have to find out about that. But this card is incredibly difficult to get in a PSA 10. All of the copies that have been graded over 1,000 for this Plasma Storm Charizard, there are only 80 PSA 10s. I've held one myself, and it was straight out of a pack, and let me just tell you, it was off-centered, and it looked like it was cut with a hot butter knife. It was terrible. Total hack job, chipping everywhere. So these cards are really, really difficult to get in a PSA 10. The artwork is absolutely beautiful. It's just looking up at you. I mean, you just cannot beat this card. Last sold on eBay. These never come up, guys. The last one I saw was an accepted offer off of $10,000, and it sold for $9,250. So that was months ago, though. So these cards never come up because the people that have them know exactly what they have. Now, again, you can experience max value if you can somehow get this thing graded in a PSA 10 if you own it in your collection. Last but not least, guys, on cards that can get you rich quick and It's another Charizard. I did that on purpose. I didn't want to tell you because then you'd be like, I didn't sell Charizards! It is the Dragon Frontiers Gold Star Charizard. So this card, guys, is near and dear to my heart. This card is simple yet beautiful. It is a completely different format when it comes to Charizard. These Gold Star cards, whether you know or not, they were featured in EX era sets. They weren't even guaranteed one in a case. I mean, some people say one in every 2 boxes. I would beg to differ. I've seen a whole case opened of EX eras where you don't get any Gold Stars. I mean, that was back in the day. So this is an incredibly elusive card. Of all the copies that have been graded, you will only have 96 single PSA 10s. It is so rare, so beautiful. This card was at one point selling for, I believe, $35,000 to $40,000. Last sold on eBay was $18,100. The mighty have fallen, and in a big way. But that's not to say that if you would have gone, 5 or 6 years ago, or even when I started back in the hobby and started collecting seriously, you could probably find this card for $2,000 to $3,000 back then. So it pales in comparison to where it came from, but I don't even think it's even reached the surface of where it could potentially go straight to the moon. Just my opinion. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. A little bit of a different format, a little bit of a different type of feel. Just trying to drop some knowledge on you guys. If you guys have any of these cards, take your shot, man. Go get these things graded. Try. Or sell them. I don't know. Do whatever the hell you want. That's going to be it for me. If you haven't already, hit the buttons. Hit the like button. Smash that subscribe button for me. And definitely flick on the bells for notifications so you are notified every time I drop content. I appreciate you guys. Road to 50K. Peace.
Yeah, I'm talking to you. It's time to hit the button already. Do it now. What do you think, I'm dancing for free here?